Oh, what's that noise? What's that sound? Not another siren. When's it gonna stop?
First Peter 5:8 talks about how we need to be alert. We need to be of sober mind. So what does that mean? How does that impact our mental health and well-being?
We have to really become alert and aware of all those sounds that are around us, of all the noise, of all the distractions, because the devil is really prowling around. Usually when we think of the word intoxication, our mind generally quickly goes to alcohol. But God is calling us to be of sober mind. That's different than alcohol. Sometimes we get intoxicated with certain thoughts that we're dwelling on.
Oh yeah.
And so
anybody else have had ruminating thoughts around? Oh yeah.
Right.
If you didn't put up your hand, you're probably lying.
And
maybe you're the type of person who really struggles and just tends to be a more pessimistic and negative type person. And you know what? I want to just be really honest and tell you that I used to struggle a lot with pessimism and just negativity. And it is truly possible to change the way that you think. And as believers, we often don't talk about that, right? We often don't talk about our ability to change our thoughts. We often don't talk about mental health issues. We often think that as believers, we should just be A-okay because, God saved us. But the truth of the matter is that there is so much scripture in the Bible that talks about the importance of our thoughts and
renewing your mind.
Yeah, and that's all part of what we're talking about here, right?
So if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and actually hit the bell notification so that you don't miss the upcoming videos that we're going to be doing, because we want to encourage you. So when we think about intoxicating of our thoughts, what are you truly thinking of? We have to be alert and aware of where our thoughts are. So maybe our thoughts, often when we get depressed or down, we're in this intoxication of depressive thoughts. And so we're probably thinking about things like, why can't I do anything right? Why don't I have certain things? Or why don't people do things for me?
Often we're looking at somebody else's life and going, oh, why do they have it so easy and I have it so tough? Or why is she so much prettier than me? Or why doesn't she have to watch what she eats and she has such a nice figure and here I am, oh, poor me.
Or why am I struggling to lose weight when they don't have to struggle like that? Why am I in so much pain when they never have any pain? Why are my financial issues such a big deal when they can go and buy whatever they want? We just have the thoughts about all the negativity. That's intoxicating thoughts in the wrong direction.
But I want to say there's something, if you think about the lure of intoxication, like if you think about the lure of alcohol and that buzz and that high, there's something luring about it. There's also something luring about those thoughts where we kind of want to live there.
We get lost in ourselves. We get lost in this pity party where our journey is the worst. And we kind of relish in that pity pot.
Because it's all about me and oh, woe is me. And it's just so self-centered, really is what it is. And we almost, I'm going to say, enjoy the pity party.
Because then people give us compliments. Then people say, oh, poor you. Oh, maybe I should do this for you. Oh, maybe I could, lift her up with bringing her a coffee. Or we just want people to feel sorry for us.
I think that's what it is. It's that feeling sorry for ourselves. And there is some sort of draw to that we have as humans, which is crazy. Because how is that fun? It's not.
It's not. But we get stuck there. We're like in a rut. Those big ruts from the trucks in the road? You can't get out of the rut. Well, that's how it is with these intoxicating, devastating thoughts. And we have to be alert. We have to be alert to a sober mind. We have to be alert to what we're thinking about.
Because ultimately, as humans, we are drawn to the negativity. I have wondered so many times why God created us like that. And I guess he didn't really create us like that, but with the fall of man, here we are, right?
That's right. So God is calling us to take our thoughts captive. And we have to do this conscientiously, intentionally. Like if we don't make a conscious effort to do it, we just keep drifting and stuck in the rut. We don't ever get out of that. We can't make it over the bump. Mm-hmm. We just get stuck there.
We have to consider what the rest of the verse says, okay? It talks about be alert and of sober mind, because your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So there's our warning, my friends, that we have to be alert and of sober mind, because when we are down in that negative thought spiral, the pity party, the oh poor me, when we're down that train, that's where the devil is sneaking around, because he knows where we're weak. And it's usually those negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. It's those depressive thoughts. It's those anxious thoughts. And he worms his way in there and keeps us stuck in that rut, right? He's prowling around. He's devious. He knows exactly where to get us, because he knows exactly where we're weak. And so if we are not alert, if we are not of sober mind, we're just giving him an in to all of those places in our minds where we're weak.
And anxiety is one of those places. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to watch the news and all of a sudden, our insides are kind of starting to churn. We get anxious thoughts because there is so many bad things happening all over the world. Yes, we want to be aware of what's going on, but we don't want to be ruminating about those thoughts. We have to still take our thoughts captive so that we can give our anxiety over to God, because he doesn't want us stuck with that anxiety. He doesn't want us to be stuck so that we can't be living out our purpose. We're still supposed to find enjoyment in every day and in our life and in our purpose moving forward. Mm-hmm. So instead of worrying and becoming anxious and getting sick, we need to be alert about what we're thinking about. Mm-hmm. We have to be of sober mind. And
we have to take this stuff seriously. This is not a matter to take lightly. Renewing our minds, which is kind of what this verse is talking about, right? It's talking about taking our thoughts captive, being alert and sober-minded, using moderation in our thoughts, temperance.
The other thing we have to do is recognize that our mind wreaks havoc with our mental wellness, our mental health. Mm-hmm. And so we want to be strong in our mental health. So if we're of sober mind, it's going to keep us stronger. We have to be balancing our thoughts on the good thoughts. So as soon as we are alert and we recognize what we're actually thinking about, then we can change our thoughts. But until we recognize where they are leading, we can't change them. We have to flip it and start to give thanks. We have to give thanks and think about the things that are good in our life, things that are noble, things that God has done for us. And when we recognize the good, we will be of sober mind, and our thoughts are going to take us out of the rut.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, when we are alert and of sober mind, when we do take our thoughts captive, and I always like to measure it against Philippians 4:8, right? Think about things that are true, noble, honorable, righteous, of good rapport. Lovely. There's a whole list. We will put it here. But measure your thoughts against that. Are your thoughts meeting those thresholds? Because if they're not, then it's time to change the thoughts. And then the thing is, when we think about being of sober mind and it's this seriousness, that doesn't mean we can't have fun, because things that are good and noble and righteous, those can be a lot of fun. Right?
That's right.
But it's the fact of taking our thoughts captive, of being alert, that we have to take seriously. And that's not a laughing matter.
So today, we just ask that you really consider where your thoughts are.
If you think about being a pessimistic or negative person, nobody's drawn to that, right? People actually don't want to be around that. And so if you think about your thoughts and how that presents you to the rest of the world, is that drawing people closer to Jesus? We need to be aware of how our thought life is impacting everything else about our life.
That's right. And you know, I heard it said like this, like so many people have bumper stickers on their vehicles, right? And you know, some have the fish. And then you get stuck in a traffic jam and you see the person with the bumper sticker with the fish on the back all angry and upset, and it's like I heard it said, if you're not going to wear Jesus on your face, then don't wear it on your bumper.
Yeah, that's a pretty good line. So maybe you need to go get some help, right? Maybe you need to actually go talk to somebody to get some help to sort through your thoughts. Maybe you've been through a lot of really hard stuff in your life and you just don't know how to get out of that rut. Because the thing is, there's skills that we can learn to manage our mental health, to manage our thoughts. And many of us don't even recognize that there are skills that we can learn to help us with those things. But that's where professionals often can really, really come into play and help us, because they give us those strategies, they give us coping mechanisms. And when we learn those new skills, then we have like tools to pull out of our toolbox when that thought spiral starts, right? Because you might be thinking, well, it's all easy and fine to say, be alert and take your thoughts captive, but I don't know how to do that, right? If something terrible has happened in your life, maybe you don't know how to stop the thoughts. And that just means that you need to get help.
And it's okay to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big thing here. It's, you know, we have in our minds that we're so weak if we feel like we're struggling. You're not weak if you're struggling. We all struggle. You struggle, I struggle. In fact, my husband has really struggled with a mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Mental illness is different than working on your mental health. Being mentally well is the best thing in the world, because when you're mentally well, you can enjoy your life.
Mm-hmm.
When you have challenges in your life, that's when you need to be alert and be of sober mind so that you can bounce up and be resilient back to optimal health.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need help, please ask for help. And if you're looking for someone just to help you through, maybe work through an issue, or you want to learn how to renew your mind, well, leave us a comment, because we will reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we are life coaches, and we can help you work through some things, work towards a better mental wellness.
Mm-hmm. We are Christian life coaches, and what that means is that we can help you move forward in your life. Okay, we don't help you deal with past trauma. That's for a professional therapist or a psychologist or psychiatrist to help you with. But Christian life coaches, we are there to help you move forward, okay? To take where you are now and go, okay, here's who I want to become. Here's how I want to become more like Jesus. Here are the things that I'm struggling with, and how can I overcome them and live the life that I believe God is calling me to live. And so, yeah, if you are looking for that type of help and support in your life, then definitely leave a comment below. We will reach out and we would be more than happy to work with you. We know that learning how to take your thoughts captive and learning the skills to be alert and of sober mind, it's a process, right? You have to start. You can't expect yourself to be perfect right out of the gate, right? Just like everything else in life, it's a journey of progress, not perfection. And so we would just encourage you today, as you begin to become alert and of sober mind,
learn how to give yourself some grace, because we know that the Bible promises that the renewing of our mind will transform our entire life. Mm-hmm. And that's what we strive for.
Thank you so much for being here watching. We really, truly appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. And you know what? We would love it if you would comment below. Tell us something about yourself. Tell us something interesting about yourself, because we would love to get to know you. And we truly want to create a community here of believers who are working together to build each other up and to be the very best versions of who God created each of us to be.